The U.S. stock index futures fluctuated around the flat line ahead of Tuesday's open as markets around the world tried for gains after a tumultuous session on Monday. Around 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time, Dow Jones Industrial Average futures slipped 22 points. Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 futures indicated a flat to mixed start to their respective trading sessions. The moves in pre-market trade came after U.S. markets tumbled deep into the red on Monday as trade tensions continued to escalate. On Tuesday, data scheduled for release includes the Philadelphia Fed's non-manufacturing business outlook survey at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, followed by the S&P and Case-Shiller House Price Index at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, consumer confidence and the Richmond Fed survey of manufacturing activity are set to be released, followed by the Dallas Fed's Texas Service Sector Outlook survey at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Two Fed speeches are expected to take place. Dallas Fed President Robert Kaplan will be in Texas at the Greater Houston Partnership State of Talent event, while Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic will be at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute in Alabama. And in Asia, markets closed mostly lower today as investors weighed an escalating trade dispute between the U.S. and China. Japan's Nikkei 225 was little changed, closing higher by 0.02%. Greater China markets recovered slightly after stumbling in the morning, although the benchmark Shanghai Composite remained in negative territory. The benchmark tracked lower by 0.51%. Still, the Shanghai Composite ended the session in bear market territory, referring to a decline or more from 52 weeks highs. Over in Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index was flat as all sectors but telecommunications and utilities traded lower. Other major markets in Asia also put in poor showings, with South Korea's Kospi shedding 0.3% to close at 2,350 points, and Australia's S&P ASX 200 edging down by 0.21%. Well, let's get back here in Nigeria, and following the conclusion of a nationwide roadshow on the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement by the Nigerian Office for Trade Negotiations, local manufacturers have remained dissatisfied with the provisions of the pact. Now, at a media briefing on the position of the domestic industrialists today, the president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Frank Jacobs, made clear what members expect of the government before signing up to the agreement.
In specific terms, we have observed with great apprehension that the issues that the major stakeholders raised at the beginning, including those expressed by manufacturers, still remain unattended to. They include the agreement to the adoption of the 90-10% market access ratios to be achieved in 5 years, lacked empirical basis and evidence of due consultations and accommodation of concerned and affected stakeholders and operators. 2, that Nigeria agreed to such a short period for the implementation of the market access without negotiating the rules of origin. 3, that right from the period preceding the Kigali Summit and up to now, the content of the Nigerian offer has remained unknown to manufacturers, who are the #1 stakeholders to be positively or negatively impacted by this proposition. Additionally, we're also worried that the Director General of NOTN, who is also the chief negotiator, doubles as chairman of the AU AfCFTA Negotiation Committee, and may need to balance allegiance to both Nigeria and the AU AfCFTA Negotiation Committee. As such, we implore the federal government to consider appointing a national chief negotiator that will be saddled with the responsibility of negotiating specifically for Nigeria. Needed studies. We advise that government should, as a matter of urgency, commission and conduct the studies listed below Man is ready and willing to support the exercise with technical input, experiential information, and effective representation. 1. An offensive export market discovery study. This will buttress the expectation that AfCFTA could promote export of manufactured products from Nigeria to other African countries. As such, an export discovery study would review the specific manufactured products which may be in high demand in each African country. Products demand that may be satisfied by Nigeria's manufactured products now and in the near future. Tariff and non-tariff related market access constraints which currently limit Nigerians from exploring opportunities available in the continental export market, and extent of AfCFTA tariff liberalization needed to realize the opportunity. The second study we're recommending is a defensive national economic and industrial priority study. Man firmly believes that this study will reveal specific products that may be negatively impacted or threatened by import liberalization in Nigeria in the context of the AfCFTA. Consequences of continental import penetration on Nigerian firms, would it reduce output and profitability of the firms, shrink firm size or capacity, lead to closure and job losses, etc. Impact on government and the economy, would it lead to import tariff revenue loss, tax revenue loss, personal income and corporate income tax, etc.?